Hello, everyone. We are here again at the Silent Voice and our channel about divorces. And I think that it's very important now to talk about the anger and especially about the revenge. So, we
Yes.
will discuss and we will share, I think, our experiences about our feelings and our imagination, how we will deal with that anger and what we will do. So, hello, everyone. I'm happy to see you here.
Yeah, same here. Happy to see you, Raminta and Paolo.
Hi, same here. Happy to see you, and I'm really excited about this topic.
Yes.
Okay, so my first question would be, because I think this is where we have to start. After experiencing some negative feelings, I would say that it's very important to recognize, okay, this is the anger that makes me to think about doing something bad to my partner that I had before, like that who cheated on me or who now I don't want to have relationship or with how you experience that, how you recognize, okay, this is not who I am. This is just strong emotions that makes me to make some actions.
Yeah, let me go first. Because there is it's very good setup in terms of how we are discussing different topics between my from the main side and the female side, woman side. Um, Yes, I think it's a natural process of emotions. When someone betrays you, we get that strong emotions of revenge. Like, I've been cheated on, I've been betrayed, or I've been made fool out of something, and that the strong emotions that immediately comes as your subconscious is to how can I take revenge, how can I make make her pay, like make the your partner pay for it. Like it's very natural. And for me it almost, I was in that emotions almost 24 to 48 hours up after getting to know that I've been betrayed and cheated, and all those feelings of being uh, blaming um, myself as well, blaming my partner, and to take revenge on whatever I can do to make her pay for it, like have her go through that pain, like whatever I can do. Yes, all kinds of crazy ideas, crazy thoughts comes to mind. Mm, so that I can make her feel like what I felt. How can I do that? Um, I felt it natural later on when I started realizing it. It was natural because all of a sudden I started feeling like I felt like all these thoughts that was coming to take revenge. Later I realized that I'm not that person. I'm not the kind of person that I'm going to do such things to hurt someone. But the realization comes after maybe a day or two after that, because I was thinking that really taking strong revenge, and slowly coming to my realization that no, I'm not that person. I cannot do that, even though I wanted to. Strongly, I wanted to do something crazy to take revenge on, but when the consciousness become conscious about who I am, that is when it start to fall. Those emotions I try to divert it to something else rather than just taking revenge. But it was there, definitely.
And can you point
Mm.
what would how you recognize? Like what was how you notice it? Because most of the people, with that strong anger, they just go to act, go do something. So how you stop yourself and how you recognize it?
Yeah, I think most part was the compassion uh, and the empathy towards myself as well as towards my partner. Like, uh, and who I am, it was very strong that I wanted to do something bad at the same time. I couldn't see myself doing something bad for her, even though I had the uh, negative emotions towards my partner. But I realized that I cannot do that. It was my who I am, understanding about myself. Uh, yes, if I am a crazy, if I go beyond my consciousness, maybe uh, if I lose myself for who I am, maybe I can do something in that anger, in that revenge mindset, if I'm not under control. Uh, so that was necessary, that I had to realize that. But mostly, I would say more compassion towards myself than towards my partner. To I can do many things. That is what I had a feeling like I can do anything. But what will bring that? What it is not going to fix whatever I do. It is not going to fix what happened. And slowly reflecting on every emotions, every thoughts, and that was my biggest realization. That reflecting on that, what happened, I cannot change it. What I can do next isn't totally in my hand. But those feelings, those thoughts came to me when I was very conscious about it. When I started reflecting on my thoughts, what I'm going to do next. Am I going to be the bad person like my partner? Yes, I can be. But is it my choice? Or is it my own character that I want to really do that? Those were the questions I had to myself. Like, am I that person? Do I feel like doing it? And what it will bring in. So yeah, there were a lot of self-reflection that happened. I did a lot of journaling during that time, when I was going through that, because it was too much confusion, too much emotions. And it was really hard to focus on what I'm thinking logically versus what's coming out of subconscious. And being understanding about those thoughts process, the thoughts, emotions consciously, it took me a while to understand myself, like who I am, that I'm not that person that I wanted to do something uh, to take revenge.
Thank you. And you, Paula?
Thank you. Okay, so first of all, I would like to emphasize that women can get angry. We can get really angry, even though the anger is really very much associated with men. When it comes to the situation when we have been cheated on, somebody hurt us, somebody pushed our boundaries too far, we can be angry and we want to make that person suffer. And that happens very often, that women who are at this stage of separation, divorce, they break up, they want a revenge. It's important, I think, to also note for those, especially who are in relationships, that for women, we drag the past more to the present time. Uh, Notice that if you have an argument with a partner right now, or there's something like they said something, they upset you, you gonna pull something from the past he said or he did a few months ago or a year ago, and you're gonna pull that in that conversation, and you will do it again and again and again. And we do that. It's like part of our nature. It's way much more harder for us, I think, to just let go, which is not good. But um, anger, it's very natural stage of divorce, of the breakups, of being hurt, cheating on. So that's one of the stages of the divorce, basically. And of course, we have to let those emotions to be if we feel like that. The problem is if it lasts too long or if it goes too far. So how I can say how it was with me, and I noticed that that anger and that willingness, yes, he has to pay for it, right? was when I noticed that the way that I look at everything around me was so full of anger. Because basically, if I'm focusing so much on making somebody sad, on harming them, on not necessarily in a physical way, but do something that will make them to regret what they did to me, it's of course going to affect the way I'm thinking, the way my mind is set. So when all of my thoughts were very dark, very sorrow, very emotionally, yeah, angry. I was emotionally angry at everything, at everyone. Everything was upsetting me. I was mad at the people. Like right now, if I have to stay in the queue in the shop for a little bit too long, that's fine if I'm not in a rush. I remember then, because I was in so much anger, everything was upsetting me. So this is how at some point I was, okay, something is not okay. This is getting too far. And this is when I started like working on it. Why and what can I do about it? And this is very important to understand, why are we feeling like that and what can we do about it? Um, and there's a few things that are very important to realize when we are fighting with this revenge, that feeling of that we want revenge. But I don't know if we're going to talk about this later, probably yes. But also, what I wanted to say right now at the beginning, when I was there in that stage of my divorce, in that mindset, I was watching the YouTube videos when there were like posts about revenge, how I took revenge on my ex, how I took revenge on my cheating boyfriend, something like that. And they're basically like a short comment that somebody is, sorry, a short note, so short stories that somebody is commenting on. And basically, the whole idea is like, it was funny. At that time, it felt like, oh, it's a joke. But then thinking, there were two types of people who are posting about how they took revenge on their exes. One of them was the ex was trying to make their life harder. So they just, as the reaction, they did something that they classified it as a revenge. So that now, from my perspective, I could think like, okay, that was funny. But if the person was actually spending time, too much time on planning, plotting, and only thinking how to make their ex to regret what they did, this is really not okay. And from this perspective, from me now, I know that was not funny at all. And I know by watching those videos, I was just making myself feeling worse, because I thought that's okay. And if I feel that way, if I would like to do something for him to regret what he did, that's fine, because so many people in the world does it, and there are even like videos about it, and everyone is laughing and they think that's so funny. So no, that's not funny. Like when we get to the stage when we are not upset anymore, when we are not angry anymore, I think we also can see the difference, and we can better distinguish what is okay and what is not okay.
Thank you for sharing, and I would agree with you. I think the most important is to understand who you are and recognize your values, what is important for you, because what your partner did to you, why you decided to go to through the divorce, it's also won't change you as a personality. And I think that everybody has to understand that this is just a period, like some stages that you are going through, and not to go too much like by forcing everything. Like, oh, because this is what I'm hearing. When I was at the stage of strong and huge revenge, I was because there was some kind of abuse, like physical and psychological. I was thinking I will never let that person to do the same for my daughters, and I will do everything like to disconnect him and to make him a bad person. But what really helped me to talk with others, like to communicate about my actions, about my feelings, to meet up. As I mentioned before, I was going to the dates with the different man who was going through divorces, their experiences, how they are feeling when they are detached, or they are not allowed to see their kids and all other things. And this showed me also a lot of value in understanding that I think go from emotional state to the logical state when not your part of emotions is working, but your brain's like logical state is working. This shift really helped me. And what you mentioned and what Suf mentioned, it's the same. Like, okay, I understand this is my emotions. I understand that I'm focusing because when emotions are going high, your rational minds are not working. But when I rationalize them, then I realize, okay, this is not who I am. This is not what are my values, and this is not what I want to do with that for like with that person or like in general in my life. So I think that rationalization really helps to go back and what you choose like to change your focus as you Paula said or like Suv also like those questions like why and what I'm doing also like writing down, journaling your minds, it's really helping. So my other questions would be by thinking why it's so important not to go fast through that revenge stage. I think we understand somehow that revenge and that anger is negative, but why it's so important to go through this stage.
Yeah, I can go. I think it's first of all, I think we don't uh, we don't realize that we have to understand and experience our emotions, no matter what, whatever those emotions are. Because from childhood, uh, what I realized that when we are in negative emotions, our parents, our elders tell that try to replace those emotions. Let's say we are, as a child, we are crying or we are showing anger, we are showing other emotions that try to uh, help us suppress those rather than express them. I think that is the biggest uh, learning for myself to understand my childhood, where this is coming from, how to suppress my emotions. And while I was going through and talking to therapists, coaches, when I was going through this, is to learn about how to express those feelings. I think it is okay to feeling and experience those emotions, and it's to better to express them and to accept that yes, I'm angry, yes, I have anger, that is an emotion. I have to express that. It doesn't mean that I have to do some actions during that anger, but it's necessary to go through those emotions, because if we do not accept those emotions, it will be suppressed and it will come out at a later stage. That is what my learning was. Because as if I'm angry at someone right now, let's say, and if I cannot express that, let's say if I'm disagreeing or if I have a conflict right now with our conversations, if I do not bring that up, that I feel like I disagree or I feel like I'm frustrated or whatever that is, but not to have the conversation in a frustrated emotions, but to express that yes, I disagree, but at the same time, if I'm angry, I say that yes, I'm angry because of this, but I cannot suppress that. If I suppress that, it will come out at a later stage. Because I think there is a very good book of how emotions create our body, just get trapped into our body. There is a very good book on that. So that is why I think everybody has to go through these emotions to understand and accept those, but at the same time, to come to our own senses of who we are and what is our authenticity, and act on those rather than acting on the emotions.
Yes, thank you. I can go next. Um, I think pretty similar. So basically, we need to let those emotions be. And I think this is where the coaching is amazing, because how I say, we break the emotions down, we learn to manage the emotions so they don't rule our lives anymore. They don't make us suffer, or they do not make us to be broken down for another 2, 3, 4 months. Um, if you're being cheated on, if you are going through divorce, breakup, for many people, that's not going to be the only time when they're going through divorce. For many people, that's not going to be the only time when they been hurt, when they being treated in a way that caused that anger inside them. So to learn how to work with those emotions right now, it's actually going to help them in the future as well. Because if you keep that in yourself, it's only going to grow and grow and grow up to the point when it will be unbearable, impossible to deal with, and probably going to blow up, which is absolutely damaging, destroying for the person then. Raminta, you said why to not to go too fast with that revenge, and I understand that it's very difficult, especially in the beginning when this anger is really really a strong emotion, and we want to make them suffer right now, and we want to do something, but um, to hold on for a moment, because I would say, like, hold on for a moment. Remember to hold on. Whatever you are going through now, whatever you are feeling right now, tell yourself to slow down with whatever you want to do, because I can promise in some time that's gonna change, or that's gonna fade. Especially if you're working on yourself, if you're in therapy, if you're in coaching, if you are maybe reading some books, taking some courses, going to yoga, meditation, anything that helps, it's gonna change. And this is also very important, to do something. Don't sit, because first of all, that gives you more time to plan and to be angry and to think about that revenge. And also doing anything positive in your life, being surrounded by positive people, talk to somebody, changing environment for a moment, that boosts the levels of oxytocin and dopamine, that makes you feel better. And also, if the better emotions go up, the bad emotions are going to go down a little bit, a little bit, and a little bit more. And there was a person who asked me, not once, not twice, not even 3 times, many, many times. And that was also surprising for me, because that was my divorce, that was my anger, and that was my revenge. But that person asked me, when I was already over it, she asked me, "Oh, are you going to just let him just go away with it? You're just going to leave it like that? You're not going to do anything?" And I was like, yes, yeah, because I don't care anymore. That's the most beautiful part, when you walk through those emotions, when you work on them, when you actually don't care anymore. It's not even like I have to force myself to not think about making somebody feeling bad for what they did to me. It's about when I actually don't even think about it. And I really wish that to everyone.
Yes, Paula, this is what I want to mention, because revenge, it comes. And how silly to someone who is going through that, revenge stage and anger stage. It's I know that what I will say, for them will be like nonsense, but your happiness and your happy life is the biggest revenge to your partner who damaged you. Like, if you put that focus, as you mentioned at the beginning, how to make that person suffer, you giving that energy, that focus to him, and you're not working on yourself. And when you start to shift that energy on yourself, and you start to see and build your life again, like by leaving that person behind, this is the most beautiful revenge that you can do to your partner. Like, and you will see that, and I see that also from my experience. And this is why I want, like, it's normal to feel anger. It's normal to feel all of the emotions. We will go there too. But I think the most important is not to force anything during divorces. Like, okay, I want to give him revenge. I will show him that I can do everything by myself. Like, these are also my feelings, my mindset was like, I will show him how I'm happy, but I'm not happy inside. I'm just doing that for that person. And how much you will hold on that person, the worse it will be for yourself because you are damaging yourself.
I think,
And
yeah,
yes,
that is a good thing because even on the topic that we are talking about, if we get into that revenge mindset, we are being trapped to focus on our partner more than the focus on ourselves. I think that is where we get into that trapped the circle of that trap of revenge that will be just being thinking about our partner, how to take revenge, rather than coming out of that thought and focusing on ourselves. And the biggest revenge is to move on and to live better than when what we lived before. I think that is the biggest revenge. Whether it's a revenge or not, who cares? But if we are happy, moving on, building up a better life, whether they get uh, being hurt by whatever you do, or like what we create our life beyond that relationship, it doesn't matter anymore whether they've been like they see uh, whatever emotions that they will feel, whether we took revenge or not, it doesn't matter anymore. So end of the day is keeping ourselves to a better lifestyle, better life, and be happy. I think that is the best uh, support we can do for ourselves rather than thinking about revenge.
I would even add to that because you both said that this is the best revenge, right? Focusing on myself, focusing on my happiness, my life. I would even say to think about it not as a revenge, and that comes a little bit to manifestation and affirmation, to
Mm,
think about it as the best gift for yourself. Like completely forget about revenge. Don't even
yeah,
think about them. If you're doing that, what Raminta said, not doing that for them, not doing that to show them how happy I am, even
right.
though you might not even be happy. Just treat it as a gift to yourself. Take care of yourself. They are in the past. They don't matter anymore.
yes. And now we are coaches, so I want to add this section in this question about the revenge and everything that pain that you're going through. Can you notice more emotions and feelings in this stage? Not just anger, of course, this is the biggest feeling like that can make you act and do something against your partner. But what are other emotions that are making you trapped in past relationship?
So, do you want to go first?
Yes, I mean, of course, that revenge thought is mostly focusing on the partner. Like, I think that is where we get trapped. We get trapped in that cycle of negative thoughts, negative emotions. Um, Anything that we are feeling negative, blame, shame, anger, whatever those emotions, when we are feeling those, that is basically we are getting trapped into that cycle, um, into that past relationship. Even blaming and shaming ourselves is associated with the past relationship, and no matter what, we will be keep doing those unless we get out of that trap, because these are all trap, all those negative emotions related to the past relationship. Uh, the only way what we can do is to focus on self development, personal growth. And another most important thing what I learned is to get a support system, to being part of a community where others have similar experience, so that there is a support, there is a uh, togetherness of coming out of this situation, because everybody will be sharing what we are sharing right now is is a kind of where people can go to the community and share their experience and how to uh, get through that trap, because getting through the trap, everybody has a different experiences, different stages to get through that trap. And that can help, that community support system can help you get through those trap, uh, and learn from others, like whether I'm still in trap or not. By talking to others, by discussing this, I can find some insight into it, if I'm still in a trap or if there is anything that I'm not considering, because this is because if I work on just myself and not talking to any coaches, any therapist, or any other person that I trust, then whatever decisions or whatever feelings, emotions, or uh, actions that I'm taking, I don't know whether I'm doing it right or wrong. But to discuss that with others, uh, that to gain those knowledge from others also is going to help you understand whether I'm still in trap or not, whether I should take something different strategy, or get help to get through that trap.
Thank you,
Thank
Suf. And Paula, what is your thinking about other emotions and feelings that you are that connected with that anger?
So, as Suf says, shame, blame, we are shaming them, we are blaming them, we are shaming ourselves, blaming ourselves. But also, if we are in that state of anger, in this part of our life, we have different parts of life. We have family, we have work, we have emotional, we have health, we have spiritual. If something is wrong in one part, if you are so angry and in such a deep, dark emotions in one part, don't expect that your work is going to go great, or don't expect that your health is going to be great, or don't expect even that might even affect your finances, everything. Because basically, if you're so negatively set, if you set your mind so negatively, it's going to affect how you approach and think about every other part of your life, other people. You're not going to be calm and happy at work if you are in such a stage in your with your past relationship. So this is very important to understand, that to get out of it is really, really necessary, because what Saf said, and I absolutely agree with that, it's very important to have that support, to have that community where you don't feel like you're the only one who is going through it, where you can share your emotions with somebody, and when you don't feel like somebody might judge you, or somebody might think that there's something wrong with you because they know what you're going through. But also, what I very much tell every woman who is after the divorce or going through divorce, find also something that is absolutely not related to that. So you have that time, an hour, half an hour, 2 hours, that one day a week is only for something that is separated from all of those bad feelings. Because if you get stuck around people who are in that sorrow all the time, there's that risk. I'm not saying that's going to happen. And I know there are groups that are very focused on getting people better or moving on. But I also know there are groups where it basically is every meeting, every time the people come together, they will just talk about those negative emotions again and again and again. And that doesn't take you out of that sadness. So it's very important to find one thing, because also what I've noticed, we give ourselves labels. And I also had that. I am divorcee. I'm divorced. I was cheated on. And I also noticed, like, literally sometimes, because women will be all the time surrounded by somebody when they talk about the divorce. A friend is coming. Oh, how are you feeling? Are you okay? Have you spoken to him this week? Is everything fine? Oh, did he did it to you again, or he said it again? So you're constantly talking only about that, right? So you are so used to being that person who is a victim. You're so used to be that person who is sad, who is in that bad position. And I'm not saying that people are not. I'm not saying women are not. But it's very important to take yourself out of that to make you feel safe, to make yourself feel better. I'm sorry. And then I also noticed you can meet with somebody and literally you just met that woman, and in the first 5 minutes of conversation, even less, she just went through divorce, because she's so used to being that person who just went through divorce. It's basically the first thing she tells about herself. So don't let yourself to get yourself to being pulled down to only the status of being a person who just went through divorce, because we are so much more. And that's really, really important to me. And I would say this is something that many women should focus on and put in their mind. And remember that you are not only a divorcee, you are not only a person who is cheating on, you're so much more. And that's something that has to be worked through. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Paolo, for sharing this. And I agree about you because we are so trapped even in our minds, like by first of all ashamed that we are divorced, so we don't want to tell anyone. And then when we are starting to experience all of those feelings, emotions, and accepting that, we are like starting from that, like, oh, I'm here, like I'm this person, but it's just one stage, one part of your life. It's not who you are in general. And what I would add, for me, that anger and wanted to put revenge, it was a very strong feeling of trying to control life, because divorce happening like not as planned. They can be planned, but still there is like a lot of unknown, and it's a strong feeling also that I cannot control anything in my life. And what you mentioned, this happens, what I experience with my clients and other people who are going through divorces, they are trying then to control by taking a revenge on their partner or controlling their ex-partner, or putting that, for example, on kids, at work, on gym. They are going to the gym like crazy, like I need to take care of my body. Like that strong feeling of I want to control my life also makes you trapped, like strong insecurities. This is what I would add, um, next to the revenge and anger.
Yeah, I just realized during this conversation, I think Paula, you brought up a really good point. Is sometimes we talk to the same group of people when we are just talking about the events, the emotions associated with the past relationship. But at the same time, I would say that like creating new memories, creating new habits, and uh, and how can we channel that energy, whatever that anger, negative emotions, to something creative, to pick up some uh, activities that you never done, or maybe you might explore, and have a separate community where you can start building new habits, new routines. That actually was helpful for me to get through, not just being in the past, having that support system, but at the same time, building, creating new memories, new relationship, new habits.
I agree and disagree at this point because, for me, it was very hard. Why I have to end hobbies or activities that I truly like because of my ex-partner. So I would say like build new memories, but not always like add something new. Because what I experienced it is like building a new memories, but also with the same circle, for example, especially with the family, like all the like even vacations and everything will be connected with your ex, absolutely. Like Christmas, like Easter, and all of that, especially when you're in a long term. And I would say shift it, change the memories, because we know that some events hold it in our body at the time. For example, if you get divorced in a spring, your body will recognize that. So you need to be aware about it and like make new memories, but not always like change your lifestyle because of the divorces. You are able to do the same, like to do what you really like, but not with your ex-partner and memories of it.
I agree.
And we are going to the last question. We touched it a little bit, but what do you think helped you the most to get out of that trap? Because I think that everybody gets into the trap of revenge, of anger, of negative emotions. It's not possible that we also like high mindset that it won't affect us. Then it means that we are not humans. But what helped you the most?
Um, I can go with that because at some point in that process, I started realizing why there is only one person in this whole world I hate so much. That brought me into more realization and reflection on why can't I be kind to that person, that I'm kind to everybody. I'm kind to empathetic, sympathetic to a stranger, but not to that particular person. What is wrong with me? Like, why do I? So that brought me to realization that yes, I had some resentment. I had some expectations that I had some uh, past emotions like the blame, shame, and resentments towards that relationship to let go of. It's not about that forgiveness, but it's our choice whether we forgive or not. But at the same time, we have to move on. We have to find a path forward uh, and to have that person as another human being, no matter what. For me, I started uh, thinking her as a human being rather than being associated with me as my partner in past, but as a individual human being. And I slowly started to applying that thought that this relationship is what's causing me getting into that trap, that relationship was the problem. Like I had to put into that thought of she's another person, another human being. And if I don't look at her as my relationship but as an individual, that's the distinction, the separation between the person and the relationship actually starting to help me think it differently. Because relationship was in one place, the person is in one place. The person I knew was not the same person that I've been getting divorced with. It's not the same person. That person had changed. So there was nothing to hold on to that with that person to associate something. I think that was the biggest discovery from my own perceptions, how uh, I got to think differently because it's about perceptions, how we perceive. And everybody has their own way to go through that process or go through that uh, change of perceptions, however it is. Someone might forgive and move on, but literally, I mean, I learned that it's our choice whether we forgive someone or not. Uh, but at the same time, we have to move on. So it's our choice how we see ourselves as an individual rather than being associated with the same person in the past.
Thank you for that. Um,
Ravinda.
I came to that a little bit. later, at a little bit later stage, to that realization that I don't want anyone to hate me. So why would I hate anyone? Just don't
Mhm.
hate anyone. Doesn't matter what they did. I can choose what I feel. And also, it's not great for me to feel hate because it's a very negative emotion. All in all, it's a bad emotion, or it's just an emotion, and we can treat it like that. But better to just not hate, because again, I don't want anyone to hate me, so I can just be neutral towards somebody who maybe is not aligned with how I see the world, or who did something not the best in the past to me. But actually, what helped me a lot, um, and I still very much live by that rule, and not only when it comes to divorce, not only when it comes to revenge, because I think um, divorce is a start of a new chapter in life. And I really, really wish every woman, everyone actually, after divorce, that they take it as an opportunity to build something better for themselves. So now, if I have 100% of energy only for the day or for the week, but let's say for the day, if, as I think at that time, my mind and was very much in anger stage. So if 80%, let's say 80% of my energy was going to anger or revenge or something like that, I have only 20% for me. I have only 20% for making my life better, for my career, for learning something new, for being happy, for my family, for my friends, for building my life. So why would I want to waste so much energy for somebody who is not really worth it anymore? Because as Soph said, at some point that relationship probably was beautiful, every relationship, because there was a reason why we got married. We were probably in love. Um, but now that person is not worth it because it's most likely a different person, not the same person we fall in love with. So just don't waste my time and don't waste my energy when I really have to put it in somebody into something else, because there's no more. We cannot produce more. We cannot produce more time in the day. You have 24 hours. You have just 100% of your energy. Please, please, everyone, focus on building something great, building something better, maybe helping somebody who is now in the worst place than us. That would be also great, because if you send some good, that comes back. So you multiply that good energy. But please don't put that energy in something that's sucking the energy out of you. Thank you.
Thank you too. And I would say that my experience was very similar to both of you, because at first point, I made a decision that I promised myself that I won't change. And that decision was that I don't want relationship with that person anymore. Because what you mentioned, Paula, I really liked. There is not just anger, there is not just pain, there is not just like fear and insecurities or shame, but we all of us are going through that mixed feelings, because at one point we still have feelings for that person, like all the past don't it's not made changed by that one event. But I think it's very important to end those relationships in yourself, with your soul and everything what you have. Like, just make a decision that you won't go back, because what I experience also with my clients, they have that feeling to go back, to try again. And everyone who try to do that, they are getting even more pain and more worst experiences, because of person cannot respect it anymore, like that person. So I think it's I want to tell that I made a decision, and that my second choice was, because I have children with my ex husband, was that my relationship with that person is not his relationship with kids. Because I wanted at first, like, my anger was, I want to like I cannot let him to do the same with my daughters, what he did with me. But then I have a decision that my relationship is not what the relationship his relationship with kids. And the third part, the third stage is where I want to see myself in future. What are my goals right now? If I detach with that person, if I don't see life with him, because I think it's very important to see yourself in a different life view, because we build our future connected with that person. And it's so hard to start to see the future without that person, and like to imagine yourself, to see that visualization, to understand that it's possible, that you are able to do that. So I would say that my stages was like that. And I want to ask you, what is the damage to stay in that trap in a long term? Because we said, okay, we don't want to force, because it's important to be there. But what are the damage that you can get if you stay in that trap for too long?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And I think what I learned from few of my clients who are going through this, that is when I start to realize that I'm in a better place compared to them. Uh, I feel when I met few of my clients who were going through the similar stages, they were more miserable in that mindset of being the victim, being the victim of that situation and whatever emotions they are trapped in. It's it is a long-term effect emotionally, psychologically, and they have damaged themselves more into different uh, addictions, also in bad decisions, into bad relationship also. So there is a lot of consequences if you are staying in that trap for a very long time, because all the decisions are going to be made out of our own emotional reaction to something based on the partner. So from those, we have a choice whether we can work on to better ourselves and put ourselves to be a better version of ourselves every day. That is one choice. Or we can be the worst personality or the worst version of ourselves than yesterday. So there are two choices I have seen people who took the wrong path, and it's become difficult to get out of that situation. There is a lot of therapy, uh, coaching needed in order to get out. But faster you get out of that trap, there is a better chance of you being mentally healthy and get into a better relationship in future, healthier relationship, rather than being trapped in that relationship.
There's really something important you said, that the addiction, because anger gives us adrenaline, and adrenaline is addictive and gives us that feeling of being powerful, and that's also addictive, but it's really taken wrongly, because as you said, it actually makes us more miserable. And with time, anger makes us exhausted, and we are sad, we're miserable, we are very negative, and we're not focusing on our lives, on making our lives better. um, and we get stuck in the past, we get stuck in negativity, and it can ruin our health, it can ruin our physical health, mental health, it can ruin our other relationships, because we have family, we have friends, we have kids. That was not the only relationship in our lives. So we need that energy to be shifted to so many things other than the past, the anger. And again, I really hope that more women will have courage to go to a therapy, to go to coaching, to talk to somebody, to work on that, and then to focus on here and now or on the future and on making it better for themselves. Like literally, just do it for yourself, because it's just wasting your time, wasting your life, and losing yourself.
Yes, and thank you for sharing that because I think that the most important to understand that anger and like all those bad emotions are building hormone system. At the high level, the more you be obsessed about that thinking, the bigger fog is on your brain. And what I also see that if you're focusing so much on your ex-partner, usually people losing their job because they are not able to make a clear decisions or they are like feeling superpowers that they will do everything and they all their connection are built on that, make that person like hurted or taking some kind of revenge. They are spending money on that usually also like I don't know, following them, stalking them, analyzing them, and it really uh like even use a black magic on that person, like where is a huge scam opportunities for people. So you have to understand that if it's not just energy shifting, but also you're shifting all your materials to make that person hurted. Instead, you may use those money, time, your health on absolutely other side. And of course, like the average is 1 year to 3 years when you will start to feel exhausted, when your body will get to the real like health problems and then you have to face that. And I think it's very important to understand that, yes, you have to give yourself time to get out of that trap. It's normal to feel anger. It's normal to want that person to feel what you're feeling, all of that pain. Like it's normal to be miserable, but it's very important to everyone to understand that you have very consciously go out of that step by step, stage by stage, because you are damaging yourself a lot. So thank you. And, for the end, I would like you to said one or two sentence to people who right now are going through that trap, a high emotional stage of divorces, what you would tell to them.
I would say because that state of mind is such a trap that it's like quicksand. If you're familiar with quicksand, it's like more you try to get out, more you get in, like more you get trapped. I think best decisions what you can do right now is talk to someone, either coach or therapist. Just go and start expressing your emotions. Find someone who you can speak to. That would be the first stage in order for you to get out of that quicksand because it's like a quicksand. That trap is like a quicksand. You need a support. You don't need someone to be close to you, but at least someone who can just give a hand or a listening ears or just a sounding board. That is the help. That is the first step, I would say. Paula.
I would say really, really short thing. Don't waste your life for that. Life is really short. You have one go. Don't waste your life because you want to be happy. And if you hate somebody, you cannot be happy. That's it.
Thank you. And I would say, asking help is not a weakness, but is your strength. So focus on the people who truly wants to help you and be very aware who is trapping you in past relationship and keeps you and be strong enough to end those connections and build connection who will support you in whatever decisions you want to make. And it's on your own. So thank you very much for being here and having this discussion. It's a very hard topic because it's very hard to accept, I think, those feelings for everyone because there is other stage like avoiding or I'm not feeling anything and like not digest deeply of anger and sadness and all of that. So thank you very much for your vulnerability and being here and accepting that yes, we all were there and we found our way to get out of it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for listening to. Bye.